And we are live here on the channel. The Evil Dungeon Master here, along with the Jeff.
Hello. Howdy.
How you doing? How you doing?
Good. How are you doing today?
Okay. Well, I was waiting for you to set up there and get everything rolling. I found this article about D&D crafting.
D&D crapping?
No, not crapping, but even though it is crapping, you're right. But for 5e, there's a whole, well, I should say, whatever, the 1 D&D, whatever they're calling it these days. I have no idea. But they're talking about the new way of crafting in Dungeons and Dragons with the advent of the 2024 Dungeon Master's Guide. Yo, Rob, what's going on, man?
Hey, Rob.
It'll catch up in a second. Rob will be here in a minute. There he is.
Probably under 20 seconds or so.
Yeah. So they actually give you basically the how to craft. They give you some rules around crafting. some specific, some concrete, and some are established. They're not unflexible. Though not totally unflexible. Players need to have access to the right materials, tools, and skills in order to craft highly specific items.
Interesting.
There's a definitive way to determine whether the process succeeds or fails. However, they also have access. I don't understand why we need a crafting system in the game, to be honest.
Well, in my opinion, it makes sense because, well, what do most of my characters do?
Craft things all the time.
Exactly. So
Nah.
it makes sense for there to actually. I mean, people want to bring their own weapons, their own ideas into the game. I mean, sure, there's a lot of weapons, and sure, there's a lot of items, but sometimes you want something to make something different. Like, what if you want different type of arrows, not just the standard, uh, full metal arrow, full metal jacket arrow.
You go into town, you say, "Hey, I want to buy these. Please make them for me." And the blacksmith says, "Sure, 10 million gold pieces."
And you're like, I don't have that. And like, go F off, go make your own arrows. And now here we got the new crafting system.
Not really a fan of crafting in games, to be honest.
I mean,
but I guess people want them, so
yeah, it adds your own, as it gives the character allowance for their own flair inside a game.
Yeah, I can see your point. But there has to be a point that you just can't be sitting there every game just crafting. You need to do other stuff.
I agree, and as a DM, that gives you,
Oops.
You can set the rules to crafting. Like, oh well, cool, crafting you can only do it like one time per session, or like you did for me is like, well, you have to find these things in order to craft this item.
Yeah,
you could add it onto the story. Like
Rob's saying players who concentrate their skills on crafting waste time and are a distraction. Damn. Okay.
Rob coming in strong with that, with his opinion.
Yeah.
But no, like I said, it gives it your own gives the player their own flair, gives them their own chance to make something. Plus, as it gives you as a GM a chance to create new opportunities for side quests or for storylines to be formed and made.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you want to make this particular arrow. All right, so you'll have to get a mold for it. Well, how do I make a mold? Well, you have to get this particular type of clay, or you have to get this particular metal. Well, what if I get,
If it's stuff that takes a day, no problem. But weapons and armor take weeks and months to accomplish. That is
agree
true.
with that.
Yeah.
And it's something. If you're on a venture, you can't really go craft and stuff. You have to wait till you're in town to make it.
They give you the ability to craft spells as well and potions. Well, we always had formulas for crafting spells, but you had to be a certain level to do spellcraft.
Right.
Which I like.
I'm not totally opposed to this idea of crafting. It just, as a DM, GM, you have to set goals and limitations to what you can craft. It's like you, for instance, won't allow guns to be made in your campaign.
It would take too long.
Exactly.
So, I don't know. I mean, let's see here. So, crafting a cantrip one day, level 1 day, level 2 3 days. So these are crafting spell and how much they cost for each spell level. So they're giving crafting for spells at lower levels, huh?
See, that seems a bit not sketchy, but too overpowered, in my opinion. If you could just make all the cantrips you want for 25 gold once per day.
Well, 15 gold for a cantrip.
Yeah, if it only takes a day to craft, that seems a bit overpowered.
Why is that OP?
because even if your spell doesn't do a lot of damage, you can make it. You can start making very versatile stuff.
I mean, cantrips really can't do more than a point of damage at a time, so.
Yeah, depends on how it's used.
I mean, yeah. Have you? I get it. It's again, everything's subject to the DM. You could be like, no, you can't. You're too busy. Or
Or
so,
that,
or sorry, Jeff, you're in the middle of a dungeon. You're not creating anything.
or hey, that spell seems a bit overpowered. I'm not going to allow you to craft it in my game.
Yeah.
If you could turn water to ice, a cup full of water into ice, that seems like a cantrip, right?
Water to ice. I think that's actually a spell, turning things to ice.
But
Now,
if
if
you
you could
said
play a game that has a lot of downtime in between the adventures, that's also fine. But players must understand that we will not take time while exploring Undermountain for you to power a sword. Yeah, exactly. Because these things are assuming that you're spending the whole day researching and doing stuff. My God, a ninth level spell, 120 days of nonstop research for 50,000 gold.
now, what if your party stops in a town and you're like, well, while we're off for a week or so, my guy wants to craft something. Would that work?
I mean, if the group agrees that they want to spend a week doing nothing and just fast forwarding time,
No,
sure.
let's say you get to the end of the session, you guys are in town. You're like, okay, guys, we're gonna meet up in next Saturday. Well, let's say it's Saturday. We're meeting up next Saturday. That gives you 6 days of in between sessions. If you allow the time to continue in your game, uh, that could be time to where even though you're not playing, you could be crafting and doing stuff.
I guess you could do it that way, but I've never really done it that way. I usually just pick up right where you left off the last time. I don't know too
Right.
many people that do that like that. They'll say, "Hey, we'll see you next week," but meanwhile, your characters are still doing shit the whole entire time. That's more of
Well,
an MMO attitude.
I mean, it's like an idle game, but if you think about it, they did have day jobs in D&D for a while.
Uh, Day jobs in D&D were before
Mhm.
your adventuring career.
No, like stuff you could do in town during your time you guys are not playing.
Okay, maybe in later editions. I don't know. I know first
Maybe
you
later
didn't have
editions.
that. It
No.
sounds more like an MMO thing you're talking about than anything else.
Well, it's a way. I mean, it wouldn't be in first edition anyway because you by doing a day job you're getting money anyway, right? So that would go towards your experience because you technically you're in a safe space when you get the money anyway. But later editions that doesn't apply, right?
I don't know. I've never played a game, a role playing game where everybody had a job to worry about, as far as fantasy D&D is concerned.
Well, it's more like a day job. You're just picking up these things, like while we're down, my guy becomes an Uber Eats guy and just does deliveries.
I mean, yeah, I guess you could do that. Say that when there's downtime, for example, when you get into a town and like say you're ending the session for there, you could be like, yeah, your characters decide to pick up odds and even odd end jobs and things like that to earn a little bit of cash. And then when we
Right.
get back to next session, we can roll to see how well you did during that downtime. Or, Jeff's guy decides he wants to run off and find a private place to work on his spellcraft.
Wants to find a private place indeed.
He wants to craft on his own.
I have to work with my wand.
Yeah, you want to craft that wand, buddy. That's right. Yeah, I mean, you could do that, and there's nothing really wrong with that, but it reminds me too much of an MMO.
Um,
Yeah.
I
Rob's
was thinking,
saying crafting should be something you hire an NPC for, but you can eventually get specialized materials for the project, like getting a special gem or such. Yeah, I'm more on the fence or on the side of Rob having NPCs do it for you, as long as you get the materials. Like if you go into town and be like, yeah, I want the special arrows, for example, and the guy's like, well, I can make them for you, but I need a special molding case for it. You could probably find it, and he tells you where to find it, and it's up to you to get it however you can.
Right. But I don't know. I would never really depend on that for the simple fact that that town might, you know, get destroyed one day, and oh, there goes your project. Bye.
That's kind of the breaks, but the chance of the town being destroyed, I don't think it's gonna.
I don't know. I think it happened to one of our games.
The town got destroyed.
Yeah,
Oh, that's that. You mean the Jacob town?
that one.
Well, the town got wiped out. Yeah. Yeah. So that's pretty much. They have a crafting system in place, and look, it's the female fighter.
The male female fighter, the
Yeah.
2023 fighter.
Yeah, the fighter that literally was designed as a man, and they actually had an action figure for. But Wizards of the Coast said, no, 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 it's a woman. But whatever. They actually did have an action figure for it. They tried to sell of this warrior, which is funny. I just watched Hawk the Slayer, and there are some scenes where the elf is waiting for the blacksmith to finish crafting his special arrowheads.
Never seen it, but okay.
Yeah, I've never seen it either.
But
whoa, why am I here? There we go.
I got a question for you. So I've been reading how, you know, Dave Filoni and
Star Wars guy.
Disney is trying to get rid of the woke employees to get rid of all that stuff. Do you think Wizards of the Coast or Hasbro will start doing the same thing?
Well, welcome to the stream, G.
Hi, G.
I find it more interesting if the players have an actual goal they set for themselves. Yeah. As far as what your question is in wokeness, I'm not sure that Wizards of the Coast sees what they're doing as what you're describing as wokeness.
Okay.
So them eliminating people from the staff like Dave Filoni is doing for Star Wars, I don't know. I can't really comment on that because they have to see themselves as that first to get rid of what they consider that.
Right. That makes sense. If you don't see it, then it's never there, right?
If you don't consider it, that yeah, and you don't see it there, then it's not there for something for you to remove.
There you go. Okay, that makes sense.
Now, if Wizards of the Coast had decided all of a sudden, yeah, we have too much, DEI and we're too much woke or whatever, then yeah, I would see them doing what Dave Filoni's doing. But Wizards of the Coast does not see themselves as that. They see themselves as a champion for whatever they're doing at the time. So they're not going to be changing anything anytime soon.
Like I said, if I ever run a company, it's just going to be for profit. It's not going to be for this or that. Make me money.
Well, yeah, I mean, most people will run a company to make me money. You do have a crowd that you cater to. You have to remember. You have to remember your base. If you design something for or take over something for a certain base crowd, yeah, the spotlight isn't on Wizards of the Coast as it is on Disney. Yes, Killraven is correct. If you take over a project, for example, Jeff, I was building a sewage system, and I'm just like, you know what, I'm done, and you buy it out and you take over the project, and I had about 6 or 7 different companies backing me that were the people buying stuff from me to use this sewage system. Now you taking over should cater to these people that I was already working with,
right?
Not change the sewage system around for people that don't even use it,
right,
or claim to use it.
That makes sense. Like if I have a plumbing company and I got 6 6 customers that like my specific plumbing, and I get a seventh customer that says, "I like your plumbing, but could you also be an electrician too?" I'm not going to be like, I'm not going to waste time on electricity when I got these other guys who want me to become a plumber, who want me to stay a plumber.
Exactly. But
Hey, could you build
Wizard
me this solar power generator? No, no, I don't really have time for that.
Wizards of the Coast is catering to a newer crowd. They're trying to change what they feel the D&D crowd should be.
Hmm.
Whether they need to or not, I don't think they need to, but
Yeah, if I wanted to start becoming an electrician, if I go to about 6 customers who are liking my plumbing, I'm gonna go, yeah, I like plumbing, but I think you guys need an electrician more than you need a plumber. But like, well, thank you for your business. We'll go talk to somebody else.
now I could see an argument for their side of why they want to change it. And
Uh huh.
I'll sit on that side for a second here. The people that
Oh.
were already yeah, me sitting on the other side. Uh the people already established with the game itself are older people.
Hmm.
In order for a business to succeed, you need to bring in newer people. So if the newer people are not connecting with the older people in the older ways, they need to change and cater to the newer crowd to bring them in to continue profit.
I mean, I would agree with that, but at the same time, I still wouldn't alienate my old customers saying they're wrong because they like my plumbing.
Go on. Tell me more about them liking your plumbing, sir.
Well, it's about tubes and
Little
liquid
baby
going
tubes.
through the tubes.
No, you're right. You shouldn't, while you're redoing your strategy for the plumbing, the game,
Right, plumbing the
you
game.
shouldn't alienate your original core audience. But that's what they're kind of doing.
Yeah.
They're basically saying, yeah, we don't really care about you. If you want to come join us and learn all the stuff that we're doing for the newer crowd, you're more than welcome. But the stuff that you liked in the past, we're not doing that anymore. So we're doing this because this is what's going to make money. This is the future right here.
I don't know. It kind of reminds me
That's
of
what they're doing. Hmm?
it kind of reminds me of an MMORPG. Is like, well, you have to keep up content, and you have to, keep up with graphics and sounds, and you have to change how the HUD looks, and you have to change, you know, how everything connects.
Unless you're DC Universe Online and you just have the same thing since 2013 and never change it. But
But
anyway,
yeah, I
go.
mean, I would say you have to put all these things in, but at the same time, you can't just okay, we have to update our system, so we're getting rid of all the old content and making new content. Well, that's gonna really tell people like, hey, I really enjoyed the old content. Why are you getting rid of it? Well, it didn't fit our
Um,
parameters anymore. So
with role
sorry.
playing games, the lifespan of an edition they said is 8 to 10 years, so to speak, before you should try to make an improvement again. But
Mhm.
I mean, there's things like Palladium that have been sitting on the same rule set for 20 something years. I mean, most of the Savage World stuff has been sitting on the same rules for many years. They just recently updated a bunch of it, but the move towards pleasing the younger folk at the expense of the old customer base makes sense from a point of view for them moving to the digital only. Yeah, uh, that is what they want to do. They want to move away from physical books. The younger crowd does not buy physical books like we do.
And
My gen
that makes sense.
my generation buys books because we like books. That's why they give out special edition books, hoping to get the money from us for those things.
It's like going to a gas station, right? And most people, I'd say 90% of people have a debit card. Not everybody's carrying cash anymore.
Mm-mm. No.
So they'll be like, either you got to use a debit card or we can't, you can't service your vehicle.
Well, a better example of that would be not cash, but checks. Places that no
Checks.
longer take checks now.
Yes. There's a lot of people. You used to be able to use checks everywhere. But yeah, not these days. It's debit
Right.
cards only.
Right. Now it's just debit card, credit card, or cash.
Mm-hmm.
I know there was one place recently. I think I forget what business is. Is it Walmart or is it Target that recently said that they're no longer taking checks? It's going to be. They had something on recently in the news that they were saying they're no longer accepting checks as a valid form of payment. You can either pay by credit card, credit card, debit card, or cash. That's it.
Yeah. And I don't know who it was either because to me, I didn't think either of them used credit cards, use checks anymore.
You'd be surprised. So
I guess it wouldn't be because they always want their money either way.
well, the way checks used to be, people used to just write checks and then they wouldn't know for days if it actually cashed or not.
That's true.
Some are moving away from cash too. Yeah, that is true. A lot of places are moving away from cash as well. There's been some recent push to, I want to say, digitalize money. It's not the proper term for it. Make money all like cryptic or crypto type thing. Not so much. Yeah, there's been a big push for digital currency in the last, I'd say, 2 or 3 years. What we've had, they want to stop using. It's been brought up a bunch of times that they want to stop using cash in favor of the digital currency. Now, people don't want to do that just yet because do you trust the government with digital currency at this point? Regardless who's in office,
you kind of have to, irregardless, because all the currency goes through banks these days.
Yes, Kevin Sevilla still does take a check option when you purchase from him over the phone. He also sends you checks too, but that's a different story. I don't know. He has a plan in place now that if he does die, he has what's his name from Savage World, Sean, who's his heir apparent, so to speak. So yeah, but Palladium is so far behind with everything that they don't do anything digital. Like you order online and you put your credit card in and they manually run your credit card on the other side when you place an order. Like you won't even know. I placed orders for books for them and I put it in and it's just like, okay. And then like 3 days later, it's like, charge my credit card. I'm like, okay.
I mean, eventually
they're very old fashioned.
Palladium will have to catch up when it comes to currency. Plus, they have to catch up when it comes to digital stuff too.
Now, back to the digital thing. It's been brought up multiple times that they want to go to digital currency. Now, I personally do not trust whomever is in office and in control with the ability to fuck with my money. If it's on digital currency, a government can easily manipulate, take away, and construe it a certain way. With cold hard cash, sure, the value of it might be different because it's backed. Well, is our dollar backed on gold anymore? I remember there was a big push for that again.
There's a big push. It's not going to happen though.
What is it backed on now?
Dreams and hopes.
Oh, so shit. Got it.
Yeah, literally. It's backed by nothing. It's backed by a promise saying we as the United States government says this dollar is worth $1.
That's right. Kevin Sabidian knows that his whole bunch of loyal customers are as old as he is. There they are.
I mean, with as popular as Palladium gets, there's a constant growing in demand for Palladium bugs.
Yeah, there's a demand for Palladium books. I'll give you that. It's still a flat currency.
Fiat.
Oh, fiat. I thought it said flat. Still fiat currency.
Yeah.
There is a demand for yeah, go ahead.
The fiat being if the United States government exists still.
We really should have our money back by gold, to be honest.
Well,
It's only valuable because everyone agrees that it is for now. That's true.
Yeah. So the reason we kind of got off the gold standard is because during World War II, a lot of, or it was either World War II or World War One, a lot of a lot of countries and governments gave their gold to America, saying, "Hey, the Germans are invading us here. Could you protect this for us?" And they said, "Yes, we'll protect it." And then after the war, like, "Hey, can we have our money back by your standards, not ours?" And they're like, "If we do that, we won't have any gold in the reserves. We'll be giving away too much gold." So that's why we moved it away from the gold standard to a fiat, to a banker standard.
It looks like the Nixon ended it in 71.
Yeah, he stopped the public trading of gold.
Yeah,
But
the
yeah, the gold standard,
convertibility. Yeah,
but it was during World War One or World War Two that they really got rid of it. Because we used to be backed by the silver for a while,
yeah,
and somebody got rid of that, and I forget who.
yeah. See, even Kilraven saying Nixon got us off the standard.
Mm-hmm.
See, gold right
So
now is $2,679 per ounce.
so
Hmm.
before Nixon got rid of it, what you could do is you could go to a bank, say, I have a silver coin, I have a gold coin, give me the money's worth of that coin. And they got rid of that. And that, I mean, you could do that through stocks, but you cannot physically like own that coin anymore. You could own gold and silver coins for collectible purposes, but that's about it.
The BRICS nations have been buying up tons of gold to back up their currency. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. I mean, gold also makes it very valuable, very vulnerable too.
Didn't we have a coin that was a gold coin for a while?
The gold dollar. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was a
Sacagawea coins, but they weren't fully gold.
but they were the closest things that we
mixture.
had. Yeah,
Yeah, the gold
I
dollar.
remember they were supposed to be worth so much, and everybody started picking them up, and then there went the price of them because everybody started grabbing them. I mean, my mother-in-law picked those up, a whole bunch of them, because she thought they were going to be worth something.
The silver dollar used to be a big thing too. You don't see any of those anymore.
In fact, I think what is all our money made of? Copper at this point? Copper,
nickel, copper,
yeah,
other things,
like a mix of things.
I mean, the nickel right now is not even worth a nickel when it's made. It's like when it's made, it's like 8 cents to make it.
Everything is a scam, not just Bitcoin. You're right. Bitcoin is a scam, though.
There's a lot of scams out there.
What we should be talking about is adventurers flooding the local economy with the Dragon Horde.
You know what? That makes a lot of sense. Wouldn't all right, so say your adventure gets the Dragon Horde.
Yes.
It comes back to town. They have thousands and thousands worth of coin. To the small town where it has one blacksmith, right?
Yeah.
What if they just bought out the entire inventory?
The blacksmith would be happy.
Not only would the blacksmith be happy, but the blacksmith would be like super in danger of getting robbed.
Well, not only would you'd be super in danger of being robbed.
And taxed out the butt. Oh, I see you got a nice hefty 7,000 coins. Time to give it over to the crown.
Yeah, that's not something I've really played with in games, that when you get money and there is like you said, the crown, having tax collectors come up and be like, come on, come on, where's the king split? He needs his money for you to
The
have your
price of,
money.
since he has that 7,000, I mean, he could do things like now he can go out and buy out all the product from the grocer. Now the price of like apples are going to go from 1 gold coin to 5 gold coins, which means the baker who's making apple pies for like 10 silver now has to charge like 10, like a gold or two just for an apple pie.
Because of the demand of the apple pies.
Yeah, because he bought out all the apples.
So ways to get rid of gold from players, yeah.
Well, you
Why?
did that in one of our in our Palladium game. You got rid of all the gold.
I did. Because everybody had too much. So I decided, you know what? In the new world, gold wasn't anything.
Gold. No more gold for you.
That's right. And that new world, I spent a lot of time on because I thought it'd be fun, and certain players kind of crapped on it. So,
well, I thought it was good. I didn't like the currency the economic currency. I did not like that, the whole crystal things. But then you came out with the crystal idea, like travel credits, which I'm like, all right, so hey, that's basically gold.
Yeah.
So why not just start using that? No, Jeff, we don't want to do that. That would mean it's like why?
I mean that would defeat the purpose of what I was doing. So,
but no, you weren't the one arguing it. It was the other players.
Yeah, I know.
No, just put it in the bank. It's like why? You could give out the temporary credits like you would gold, and they could take it to the bank themselves.
That's another thing that Killraven brings up as a good point. In Palladium, for example, they have a certain monetary system. While there is gold, silver, whatever in place, they also have certain coins and names and imprints on the coins. Now, if you brought, like he's saying, all that loot, like you're saying, from the Dragon's Hoard, the town would be like, what's this? Oh, it's gold. Yeah, well, this isn't official gold of the kingdom. I'm not taking this. This could be counterfeit. This could be fool's gold, whatever. This could be a trick. So then your gold is kind of worthless if it's not accepted in where the areas are.
I think they would accept it as gold, but the currency would have to be exchanged. So yeah, you could buy an apple for gold. Oh, it's that type of currency from another kingdom. Well, I have to take my time. I have to go to the exchange to exchange out that gold for our currency. So instead of being 1 gold, you now have to pay 5.
Yeah, you could do that. Or you could make the players go to the bank if the town has a little bank, have them exchange the gold in and get a little less because the current change and value, like you said, is different.
Exactly.
I found some players who actually went to the Beck to play Beck Me, and of course the rule is gold value for experience. Yeah. AD&D, it's also that way too. You're a second edition player, Rob. Did they have that rule in second edition for gold for XP, or did they drop that? I don't really remember.
I know they kept it.
Did they? I don't know. I know first edition kept it because that was one of the things for a ways to. Well, they had the the gold for training in first edition.
Yeah,
which was another way to take money away from the players.
Yeah, so keep the gold down. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you wanted to go up in level, you had to find someone to train you, and you had to pay a certain amount of gold per trainer, per level, per week to go up in level. It was optional. Okay. Yeah, but BECME and basic D&D and first edition all were gold for XP. I never really dig gold for XP when playing those things, mostly because it was confusing on how they worded it. They were saying it has to be secured in your base of operations. Most adventurers don't have base of operations, so...
Well, I mean, you didn't have a base of operations till what, level 10, right? Where you had to create a tower or
9. Yeah, 9.
fort.
Yeah, usually 9th level if you're depending on what class it is. But yeah. And it could be argued that securing the gold would be... What?
A piss tower.
You shut up. You didn't like the piss wizard?
No, because he kept spraying me.
So I don't know what I was gonna say. You messed me up, man.
Good.
Oh, it could be argued that securing it is bringing it to a local inn and resting there, and that's your base of operations. It really depends how you do it, because you have to secure it and maintain its security for it to be considered XP to the end of the adventure, or when the DM gives out experience.
Okay, so I have a question,
Yeah.
right? Okay. Thank you, Wizbot, for the update.
You're welcome, Jeff.
So say, you get your gold, you put it in, let's say, the inn safe, right? You pay the renter's fee of 10 gold, and he's going to hold on to your gold so no one else steals it. So it's secure, right? Let's say the town explodes. Your gold is no longer secured.
What's with you in the town exploding all the time?
Because I had an awesome sword and it got taken away from me. That's why.
The sword got taken away from you because a player took it from you.
Because a player's being a butthole.
Yeah. I treat lawful churches as banks, so if the PCs turned it over to the church, they get the experience. Yeah,
That makes sense.
that makes
That's a
sense.
good
Yeah,
point.
but they're also turning it over and cashing it in for
Yeah.
experience points.
So
yeah, you
let's
get to maintain. Yeah,
let's go back to the whole palladium and different currency thing. Let's transfer that to the gold for uh, for one experience, right? What if it's different currency though from another nation? Is that still one gold for one experience, or does that have to
yeah.
be?
There was no difference in first edition or BECME or basic D&D. Gold was gold.
Okay, so they didn't think that far ahead.
They Well, I mean, there's not really thinking. I mean, gold is gold, regardless of where it's coming from or whatever stamp is on it. It's gold is gold as far as experience is concerned.
Not unless you have to exchange it. Then the 5 gold might be worth 1 gold.
Um, the only way I would say that if you're in your situation, if it's worth less, is if a certain kingdom has mixed gold as gold. So, for example, maybe they're doing gold with iron or something like
Okay,
that. They're doing like a gold coating around it, but it's like basically just iron.
it's gold dipped iron disc.
Yeah, so then maybe that is worth less than gold, but it's still considered gold. So I don't know. It really depends on you as the DM. Gygax did not sit there and go, well, this gold is worth this much of experience. He was just like gold, one piece, one XP. Done.
What if the players use cryptocurrency as gold?
Then they're not playing Dungeons and Dragons anymore. They're playing a different game, Jeff.
How many gold coins is this Bitcoin worth?
Here's a gun. Shoot yourself.
Jeez. I guess that's why you're the evil DM.
Yeah, that's why I am.
Telling your players to go kill themselves. That's not cool. But yeah, the hi.
No, I was refocusing the camera.
But yeah, I agree with Rob. The Templar thing from the second or third Crusade, where they use IOUs, that was a really good idea. That idea of temples being exchange spots was even back in the BC times, because it was a cultural center, so a lot of people would go around there.
Now, there was also the thing with paladins when they had to donate a certain percentage of their gold and items and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
a paladin is only supposed to have enough on him so that he is able to adventure. He cannot have an exorbitant amount of things. Now, a paladin wouldn't have 4 to 5 different magical swords. He wouldn't have 3 different types of shields. He wouldn't have, a magical axe. He would have the best that he can have and the rest of it he would have to donate to the church. Finding gold, on the other hand, the paladin, when he comes to a new town, he's supposed to donate it directly to the church. I think it was like 10% or something like that.
If their church is even in that town.
It really never specified if it was their church or a church. It was kind of just like to the church.
So let's say you're a lawful good paladin, right? And you go into a lawful evil town with a lawful evil deity. Are you still supposed to donate your 10% to the lawful evil deity?
I would think you.
What's
I
the
don't
official?
know.
What's the official thing say?
It just says you're supposed to donate 10% of your income, so to speak, to a church.
So your God hates my God. Here's 10% of my money.
I mean, regardless if the church is lawful evil or not, it is still a church. So now he probably wouldn't donate to a lawful evil church. I don't know. That's a good question.
No, I think he would because, like you were saying, it's still a church. That means they would have to, even though they were lawful evil, they would still follow laws, and they would probably try to help the community in a certain manner.
I would, if I was playing a paladin and I had to donate to a church every time I came to a town, and we'll go over your scenario. There's a lawful evil, God church there. I would donate the money to the city as opposed to the church. That way, I'm still donating and still following the rules. At least I could give it to the town, which will do good for the people as opposed to the evil church.
So you would give it to the government, not the church.
Yeah, I would donate it to the government, so to speak, in good faith, hoping that they will use it to help the people, which they probably won't.
Just enriching the governor. He only uses it to buy fast cars, or in this case, horses.
Fast horses, yeah.
Come on, Daddy needs a new pair of socks. He goes to local horse races with your money.
Yeah, Diamond Joe Quimby's the mayor.
It's Chowder.
Chowder. Shut up, Jeff.
You say Chowder all wrong.
Yeah. Nope, lawful with Cheershus people keep forgetting the good part of lawful good. It's not just the laws. Again, it's subjective to your game and your DM. If you want to be an absolute stickler dick about the rules, you could make it so that, and I'm not really that way, but you can make it so the paladin must donate every time it comes to a new town. So I always said that the paladin could just hold their tithe in reserve until a proper church or organization was encountered, or they use the money for charity in their God's name. There you go. Yeah, that works. Coming to a new town, there's a lawful evil temple in the town. Can't donate it there. I'll go and buy a bunch of food in my God's name and give it to the people that are on the street that are hungry.
Like, ew, we don't. We're all gluten. We're allergic to gluten. Ew, just throw it on the ground.
I've got a sandwich for you. Is this gluten-free bread? Well, that's a funny story because that did happen to my sister-in-law when she was in New York. There was a homeless person who was just like, I want some food. And she gave him, she's like, well, I have this sandwich that I bought for lunch. You can have it. I'd rather see you eat. And the guy took it. He goes, chicken? I don't like chicken. And he gave it back to her. And she's like, you're hungry. Well, I don't like chicken. How about something else? And she's just like, no. Either you take the chicken or no. The guy's like, I don't want it.
What kind of food do you want? Crack cocaine.
Stop. No, the guy wanted Burger King is what he wanted.
He should have got a Burger King, gave him a chicken sandwich.
A Chick-fil-A what do they call I forget what they call it at Burger King.
A chicken Whopper.
Yeah, chicken Whopper or whatever the hell it is, chicken fries. Here you go, son. Who the
I
fuck
don't
doesn't
know.
like chicken? Well, apparently this homeless person did not like chicken. That's who, G.
Oh, I don't like gluten. Ugh.
Yeah, I think that even happened to my wife one time. She was driving, and the guy, he's like, I'm thirsty and hungry, so she gave him a bottle of water. He's like, I don't want water. Well, I guess you're not thirsty then. So
What kind of water do you want? Crack cocaine.
that's not water, sir. That's not a drink, sir.
But I'm thirsty for it.
I want some rum and
Kill Raven says, I know in 2E at least it specifically say lawful good institution or something of that effect.
yeah, I'm pretty sure it does specify that it has to be some. I don't remember because most people don't play paladins because they think paladins have to be lawful stupid, which is you don't have to be lawful stupid. The rock of life, yes. Okay, yeah, you win that one, G. You win that one.
What are you thirsty for? Crack cocaine.
Jeff.
Oh man, but yeah. So what if, like that smash button? Yeah. What if the you knew, because you can cast detect alignment, right?
Well, I think you mean detect evil is what you mean.
Yeah. So if you detect evil and the mayor's not evil, could you donate your tithe to him?
Is there, and there's no church in town or something?
Yeah, there's no church in town.
I would allow that as a DM if you're donating for a good cause in your god's name. Sure.
Yeah, he's hoping that pony will win.
Well, if he's lawful, if he's a good mayor, he's not going to be betting the money away from the town because that'd be an evil act.
No, maybe he's trying to win. He's trying to double this money for the town. I mean,
Fred
I
the
like
Alien disagrees with you.
don't give your money to the government. Bye.
Government sucks. See you later. Bye.
No, I like your idea a lot better. So, say there's no church in town, and you're not really going to give it to the governor. So, what you would do is give it, kind of figure out a way to, help the town out using the money. So, buying food or buying
Crack cocaine.
I wasn't going to say it, but like, figuring out some way to, maybe the town needs a new plow for their horse.
That would be doing it in your god's name. Don't eat for the quality. Fucking bad. Yeah. Yeah, that works. Yeah, if the town's plow broke, for example, and they're like, oh, well, we need to buy a new one, and you happen to come in with the money, you can donate it in your god's name. Be like, well, I will gladly buy it for you in Saint Cuthbert's name or whatever.
Yeah.
Or Hieronius's name. Sure, that works.
My paladin's name is Walter White. He goes around in a caravan. He really likes to help the community out.
He's in his underwear most of the time, and
his tithing is throwing pizzas on roofs. It's blue, so it's holy. It's blue, so it goes faster. Sorry, folks. Blue does not make you go faster.
Yeah.
So
and also, don't listen to Jeff. Just really ignore him, please. Those are our standard little disclaimers about this
sorry,
show.
Paladin cannot fight in underwear. It just does not work.
Well, I mean, he could fight in underwear. I mean, who says he can't?
What if your paladin was worshiping a nudist god? God of nudity.
I mean, if that's the god you made up for your campaign, and the god is a good god, yeah, it would work.
What if you chose an evil god and you're an evil paladin?
That'd be an anti-paladin in the older editions, but they don't allow anything but lawful good paladins in older editions. If you're doing later editions, then you could be any alignment.
Is there a DT for getting high?
Probably. Wouldn't
Which
it be
one?
one of those Hobbit ones, or halfling ones?
I mean, if you consider like Baracus, God of the Harvest, if you're harvesting a certain type of crop, a blue type of crop that people are thirsty for.
Wouldn't they be thirsty for a green crop too?
Maybe. Might have a little bit of oregano in it.
Oregano. Ooh. I don't know, buddy.
So what if? All right. So let me ask you a question.
Okay.
So instead of using your money for the town, say you're a paladin,
Okay.
what if you bought a whole bunch of supplies and made a giant soup? Would that be considered like a donation?
A giant soup?
Yeah.
And you're what? You're opening up your own soup kitchen and feeding people? I mean, is that what you're doing?
It's like it's like one of those feed the homeless things where you're feeding the whole town using your soup.
Hey, Mr. Volts.
Hello, Mr. Volts.
We used to use lawful evil paladins who were Bane worshippers years ago. Yeah, I mean, you guess you could do that, but I mean, lawful evil. I mean, there'd be, I don't know. I never usually had lawful evil paladins. It was either paladin or anti-paladin in our games. But I guess you could do that.
I thought Bane was the Sith.
You are correct. Bane was a Sith Lord. From
no, for you.
Okay, now we're getting into Seinfeld territory, but okay. No, yeah, if you want to take your money and buy enough food that you could make a soup and open up your own soup kitchen or whatever, so to speak, yeah, I don't see why not. That would be considered doing something.
Would the bread be for free?
Would the what be for free? Bread?
Would the bread be for free?
I mean, probably.
No, it costs like $2.
Sometimes Jeff's phrasing of questions inflicts psychic damage.
Maybe that's what happened to Midnight.
What?
The Hobbit?
You caused him psychic damage because of your
phrasing.
Him
emotional damage.
Emotional damage.
Ah, thank you, Rob.
Yes, he's the Forgotten Realms god. He had some pretty good stories with Bane, though.
Did you?
Yeah, there were some really good books. There, just for you, Jeff.
Just for me?
Just for you.
Just for men? There's Midnight right there.
while listening to you talk to him. Well,
he came out of the woods. He was in his underwear. He was screaming. He was in pain. Well, is there bruises? No. Is there broken bones? No. Is there cuts or slashes? No. What's he hurting from? Emotional damage.
Yeah, that was one of those weird situations where you asked, "Is he hurting from emotional damage?" and was like, "Yes." I was like, "Oh."
And I think we put it's like not likely either.
That is true. There are many Banes: Darth Bane, Bat-breaking Bane, God of Tyranny Bane. Yeah, there's a lot of Banes.
Back breaking Bane. That's a tongue twist right there.
Yeah, Bat-breaking Bane.
No, back breaking Bane.
But he didn't write that, so.
But that's what he broke. He broke the bat's back.
I'm aware.
Did he do it again?
Do what?
He tried doing that on Superman. He freaking broke his leg doing it. It's funny.
Yeah, you can't break Superman's back.
He's like, I'll break your back again. Why isn't it working? Oh yeah, you're Superman in Batman's uniform.
those parties from back then were predominantly lawful evil. Neutral evil, needless to say, was pretty cutthroat party info. Yeah, I would think so. Being neutral evil is probably one of the most diabolical things other than chaotic evil. Because of the way they're so selfish and the way they act.
That's the way the cat should have been.
The cat, yeah, in that one campaign probably should have been, you know what? I would say maybe a lawful evil character the way he acted, because he did follow laws.
When they agreed with them.
That's usually what lawful evil does. They twist it to their vision to make them work with him until you can agree with them. But yeah, he probably should have been a lawful evil.
Rob is saying Bane is the number one voice name in the 70s. I've never met anybody named Bane.
Bane is the number one boy's name?
In the 70s. I'm guessing he means the 1970s, not the 1870s. Thank you, Wizbot.
You're welcome, Jeff. Yeah, I see Bane means glorious. Let's see, glorious defender.
Wait, Bane means glorious defender? Wow.
Yeah. In 2013, number of birth names for Bane is 65.
Oh, people actually name Bane.
Yeah, we got it. As far as 2022, 5 names.
Yeah, I couldn't handle chaotic evil. They were much more or less forbidden as PCs. I mean,
that's literally diabolical evil.
Unless the whole group allows it. Yeah, I've never heard of anybody named Bane either. Apparently, 65 people who were named it.
Yeah, I think he was just fucking with us. That's all. But really, while Rob may have been screwing with us,
go on.
And Jeff enjoyed it. There is a Bane name popularity chart starting in 2012 of births for the name Bane. So you weren't too far off. At least someone has been using the name Bane. Looks like 2013 was the height of Bane, which I have no idea why. I don't know. So, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Unfortunately, we do have to end the show early tonight because I need to go get something done, and I'm being beckoned for that.
Betty does.
So we will see the members on Friday for the members only stream at 5:05 Eastern Central Time, and yeah, hopefully you have a good night.